Oh, and also remember my alternative to the correction system to actually get the correction system to do what it says it's supposed to do. So, I've written about this many times since 2015, but I'm going to go through it again on camera because it just seems like the reasonable thing to do since no one ever comments or engages with my post. I seem to get through easier on camera. So here's what we're going to do. Well, here's the plan. Here's my plan. This is the plan I came up with. Basically, instead of putting sick people in cages and allowing them to hurt each other, what the plan instead is regardless of the crime, you are sentenced to above a threshold, obviously. I was thinking that as far as, game theory considered, you might actually, if you make it not really above a threshold, we could have a lot of people basically kind of throwing themselves into prison, which would be a good thing in this case. And let me explain why. So basically what we do is we use automation with the power of X. I can build the robots if nobody else can. I would think that's weird, but I can. One of my companies, Commando Marketing, when everything's finished here, God willing, is going to be doing that already. I already have plans for building houses like this. So basically what we do is we send out a robot into a field. It analyzes the field. It goes around. We can send 2 robots out in the field for extra security, and if one breaks down, the other can repair the other one. And obviously they're solar powered. Got a combination of the latest battery technology and supercapacitors, keeping them going as long as they need to. If they need to sit outside during the day, if they need to get themselves into a sunny area and sit there and charge during the day, that's fine too. Until whenever they come back on. If it's raining, cloudy, thunderstorm, whatever, just let it sit there. Eventually it'll come back on. So we go send them out to a field. They analyzes the resources on the field. It analyzes the plant life. It uses everything. According to my models, it could create foams and then petrify them using an artificial process for petrification. And you can out of plant life and out of gel, you can create gels out of plant life, then create hydrogels. You can use every material that's on the land in extremely creative ways, and the chemistry is all done there, starting out with if it needs to build small factories and ovens and ways to purify and isolate compounds from the environment. It figures out ways to do that, like building from if you're a pioneer and you're trying to get to modern technology. It figures out ways to do that. It's extremely creative. So it goes out into a field and it starts working on the problem. You give it design specifications for your the hardness of the walls that you want, the height of the walls, what the building structure looks like you want to build. Is it underground? Is it above ground? And it's trained on complete scientific and engineering knowledge, and OSHA and OSI and AMSE, I believe they're called AME, mechanical engineering. I forget, but ASME anyhow. Standards, American standards, right? Okay, so it like I was discussing since 2017, something I call the Genie Lamps paradox. You just put things in there that can even be quote unquote stupid things, and they're really not that stupid. Because I knew this because this is how my brain works. And people, when I was a freelancer in 2015 and 16, working for clients out of Houston, I other companies would tell companies that I work for no, and then, come to me, say, Adam, can you do this? Giving us a ridiculous price. Yeah, I can do it. I can do it in 2 weeks for an eighth of the cost, if that. So but the thing is, I'm coming up with methods over the phone. My brain just works like that. You tell me, I just invent something, and I have like risk metrics and constraints and things. Whether I don't have to know everything, I just need to know enough to know if it's possible. I'm like, yeah, it's possible. And then a lot of times I drill down even further on the phone while I'm sitting there, just, pulling things together. Okay, yeah, it's possible. Yeah, we can do this. Yeah, we can do this. We can do this. And I'm just doing this in my head. They're just talking, so they want it done. I'm like, yeah, okay, So this is my brain, how my brain works. You say stupid things to me. I don't think they're stupid. I just work on the problem. I want Smurfs for my kid's birthday party. I just work on the problem. I can work on the problem from multiple dimensions. Like work on the problem as like little animatronic machines, little animatronics. I can work on the problem as like advanced kind of toy robots. I can work on the problem as CRISPR, Cas9, and genetically engineering Smurfs from human embryos. So I don't think it's stupid. And I know that the machine doesn't think it's stupid because I'm going through an extremely logical process to get there. I don't have these cognitive distortions that naysayers seem to be fond of, that seem to support their ability to not continue working and trying to fit in. So that's what they think anyway. That's what they seem to think. So I don't have that. I just work on the problem, and I know that's what machines were going to do, right? So I call it the genie and lamp paradox. And basically, any stupid thing you put in there, you want a mega structure resort made out of bomb-proof concrete. I forget what the name of that stuff is they use for prisons, but they have a bomb-proof concrete. Basically, you don't even need, you can vertically integrate, that's what I'm saying, you can vertically integrate everything and just give it specifications of, for the materials, the hardness, tensile strength, stuff like that. And it comes up with methods there. It could be sitting there building giant chemical vapor distillation machines, and the equivalent would cost probably $1 trillion. It's just going to do for free on a piece of land, because you told it to. And that's the reality of AI and automation, automation, the power of X, and robots building other things, right? They can build a bunch of robots and work as a swarm and swarm robotics, synchronize tasks with each other, synchronize repairs with each other, and synchronize, changing out batteries and things like that. Have everything organized like that, and just build larger, more complex machines, more simple machines, whatever you want. Build cities, build an entire city just because you said so, right? And so we can have it go out there on a piece of land, and we can have it build a really nice resort that is basically prison, because you can't get out of the resort. You're confined to a very nice room, but it's like a nice room, right? And you have robots coming and bringing you nice food, right? Because you're going to be here a while. That was my thought process. And also, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I was like, okay, Adam, what if we put you in prison? Well, how would you like to be treated in prison? Guilty or not guilty, we're putting you in prison. And it could go both ways. Okay, so say if I'm guilty, what you need to do is get me an education. I really would need to know more about psychology, human biology, social sciences. If you train me to be a medical doctor, this really isn't based on me. It's really I do all these things anyway. But but I just developed this model for others. But I mean, that's what it's like. If you did this to me, it'd be like, okay, you're giving me a break. Maybe that's how they think about it. I don't care. I'm not out to punish anyone. I'm out to fix the problem. That's the thing, is that with the correction system, they're not fixing the problem. They're out to get revenge. It's not corrections. It's revenge. It's revenge on mentally ill people with a lack of life experiences, and so it's really just like ridiculous. So, yeah, so they need 3 doctorate degrees, and obviously doctorate degrees compose, you're going to have classes that repeat, so you're not going to take those classes over again. You're just going to focus on what you're going to need to get your doctorate degree. Like Sal Khan of Khan Academy, he has 6 doctorate degree from MIT, which and he teaches everyone K to 12. He's obviously very smart, and he decided to teach everybody K to 12. So if you don't think I'm a very good role model, there's Sal Khan. But yeah, I like him. So so where was I? Right, so 3 doctorate degrees, one in medical, like to be a medical doctor, one to be a psychology, and another one of their choice, right? So basically they're understanding multiple aspects of the world, and we didn't just force them to get an education, something that they really didn't want to do. We gave them a free education of something that they wanted to do also, so that takes a lot of the edge off. And it's goal-based, it's not time-based, it's completely goal-based. You have to pass these degrees to get out. Whenever you pass them, and you have other goals too. You're in counseling and mentorship sessions. You're completely isolated from other criminals. The only people you're speaking to are not criminals, that are volunteers or paid workers that come and just sit with you to make sure that you're not in complete isolation a few times a week, and they talk to you about things you want to talk about, and they're professional, and they have boundaries themselves. So there's things that they're not going to engage with you in a certain way. You're also working on your they're also working on your cellular health, doing your cellular repair compounds like cycloestradiol, nicotine, riboside. I didn't add that until later. I did say work on their health. I just didn't specifically say that. I said work on their physical health also in 2015. And then these together, after they actually pass their degrees and they go through all this with mentorship and healthcare and counseling, they and finish their doctorate degree. So obviously by this time they're a medical doctor and they've had some experience with real patients. They get together in a group environment in sets of five, between 5 and 8 people. I thought was the idea. 5 is probably more idea than 8 in this particular situation. When it comes to people and in training sessions, in my models, don't put them in higher in groups of 8. 8's great for lead marketing. It's not a prison. Obviously, I just use, I'm just talking about people in training sessions. So this training session is basically they live together in an upper middle class environment. It's still a prison. They still can't get out of the upper middle class environment. But as they pass goals together or cooperating together, this one is monitored. It's not really by time. It's really by how are they doing. If probably some board of ethics may get in there and put a time on that in particular, which I would think would be good. So how are they able to cooperate together? I don't think you should separate men and women. What they want to do together is their choice as men and women. I just don't think that it's a responsible decision for their mental health and for surviving the real world and for having expectations out of them like they're a normal human being to separate men and women. So we're just trying to put them in an upper middle class environment. Maybe they never got that before. They've been living in this luxury kind of resort thing for a while. But now they're like actually with other people kind of living as like a family, basically. And they can have like popcorn fights, things that they may never ever got to have in their entire life. Now they can have, and we can see how they do together. And basically, they're monitored by psychologists and doctors. They're evaluating the risks of letting them out. and then they just free to go, and they don't have a criminal record. They have no criminal record because it's based on the fact that we've truly rehabilitated them. They're not the same person they were. We've transformed their mind through education and healthcare and experience. And, so they don't have to have a stigma or a scarlet letter about the crimes that they committed any longer, even including murder, because, and as heinous as murder is, and I don't disagree that it's heinous, and nor do I want it to happen to anyone I know, the fact is, if you look at it from a biological and a psychological and a sociological point of view, the mechanics are really kind of connected to other really kind of childish things that people do, and they just need better care to not do them. So I feel it's kind of our fault in a way. And if we at least look at the problem like it's our fault and take responsibility for it instead of passing on responsibility onto somebody who failed, then we will see the problem evaporate a lot faster, at least. A lot faster. I think it's just going to evaporate. I think it's going to disappear a lot faster than it has definitely in the past. And we're going to see crime like a disease being cured, and the wounds in society healing. And so if you take that in mind, this model for what I think the correction system should be, what happens when people go to prison, regardless of the crime, and this ultradian rhythm technology that I just released a white paper, I had ChatGPT get it for me. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, man, I can do it myself, but it's like you're just reading, books and filling in voids and filling in blanks. I already know a starting point where to start. This is how my mind works. This is why people don't like me around, right? Because I'm reading everything in the room, and I don't hide things in my eyes. I get comments from people sometimes like, you're undressing me with your eyes, or something like that, which is kind of ridiculous. That's not what I'm doing. I just can't help read things. It just appears to me like I have a heads-up display or something, and it just shows in my eyes what I'm looking at, and they're kind of embarrassing or deep things, and we're almost like we're having a conversation, right? So I know that's how I know it works, because I already use this. I'm just giving it to you and telling you how to do it on computers, so we can have a lot safer and cleaner and nicer place to live with better people, more decent people, educated people, and everyone can be closer and stuff. So yeah. Well, with that in mind, with the fact that I just told people how to do that, in case no one ever knew before, I don't doubt that it's could have been done before. I just you don't hear about it. I don't know it's been done before. I don't know how innovative I am compared to 8 billion people. It's really not my point. My point is just to solve problems. I don't see that problem being solved. Let's go ahead and solve it. Is it innovative? You tell me. I don't have to tell me. I just solve problems. So yeah. So since I released that, if you think about it, if you're a politician or if you're a police officer or you are involved in serious crimes, just think about that. If we get things moving on the correction system like this now, by the time that you start having to answering for the things you did, we can just get you on a little vacation. And the fact is, and as maybe crafty as it may seem, cunning as it may seem, it's game theory. But the thing is, this is tied to evolutionary models and things like that. I wouldn't give you a solution that I didn't think would work, and I wouldn't give you a solution that I wouldn't think was better. It just happens to fall in the same place, right? In my models and my understanding, my experience in education, this is what fixes the problem. Treating them like this, give them new experiences, putting them in a nice environment, not a bad environment, give them an education. And I'm not talking about what happened over in... What city was that? What city was that? It was over by Michigan. I'm not talking about... It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing as this. We can't compare it to this because this is a complex system and you got many moving parts and you got to think about what all the parts do. So it's not the same thing. And this is, I believe, very strong. It's going to work. But you can try it out. You can put people on a trial basis. Say, okay, talk to the families, whoever, that we want to have this new program. We want to sentence them to that instead of sentencing them to prison. And we would like your approval, since they committed the crime against your daughter or whoever. Just be cooperative with everyone and go ahead and get it tested, get it rolling. And by the time, this is going to move pretty quick, I think, but you can at least start now, right? And so if they go ahead and if they're going to put you in prison, if your enemy is going to put you in prison, if they're going to come after you, if you think the Republicans will come after you, you're going to think the Democrats are going to come after you, if you think whoever's going to come after you, CIA, FBI, you can go ahead and get things rolling now and get yourself in a better position. Thank you.